Hi, it's Kim from Geeks with Social Change. I've just done a huge overhaul of the admin interface, and I thought I'd make a little tour to kind of show what I put together and kind of what's changed. So starting with the dashboard, I found the things I put on here, I've tried to prioritize what I'm trying to do when I come to the dashboard, which I can't quite at the moment. And a lot of it is just identifying which calendars are broken or need a little bit of attention. So I've really tried to highlight that here. And this dashboard kind of shows a little bit more of the status and progress of where you're up to. But I think most importantly, it's trying to highlight these. I've also tried to build this so when you start a new site, you kind of start to see these things populate and you get to see kind of the numbers go up. You can see my test data. Perhaps the most obvious thing is I've sort of redone this bar to put the most obvious things at the top. So we now have a wizard for each of these, which is because setting up a partner is quite an ordeal. There's quite a lot to remember. You got to go through quite a lot of stages for it. So I've put a lot of this to make it a lot more streamlined, basically. I'm going to move to here for now. And let's just move this window up a touch. There we go. So first off, I put in a little checker. So if you start typing in LGBT, you're going to get a search for other partners with the same names. We found there was quite a lot of clashes going on between where different sites were setting them up, and we still not quite resolved how to deal with it when someone wants adding to another partnership. But this is the kind of validation we're putting in now. But I'm just going to, for now, I'll just do test partner 10, and you can see it's even telling me partial matches. You can obviously do the summary here. I've started putting in some length things that will stop you over typing. And now you can see we're going through the wizard. So the service area has been redone. I've done this so when you do this, it starts to drop down into regions. And this should be consistent throughout the interface. You can go as far as you want. And then the partnerships, it's still working as before and adding what you did. I've turned these categories into radios, so hopefully, because these aren't getting filled in at the moment, so hopefully you can do this and it will stop you when you get to 3. And partnerships, there's a lot of these in the interface I've put now where there's this kind of search box interface, so you could add another one if you so chose. The online contact, so let's just say this is me, and I'm typing in my address as an example. Oh, I already exist, obviously, so I'll be added as a partner. And then you can see at the end here, this text needs a little bit of mistake, but the partner will get created and then it will prompt you to edit more or add a calendar. So on the new calendars, I think the main thing is I put in a little bit of validation here. So this will see if the link is valid. Right now, this isn't actually testing. All it tests is that the URL matches. But now this is set up, we can start putting in better validation to check the event is actually kind of continuing. And then again, this will autofill if you've selected it before. We've also got a new user one, which is a little more basic, so you can set them up, add whatever their permissions are. I'd say the next biggest thing is I've redone all of these index tables as data tables. So let me see. So we've got lots of filters here, so you can see things that are, for example, missing a calendar with a little column here. We can see ones where no admin's been set, so they probably need an admin. We can filter it down by different partnerships. We can see what categories are in use and which ones aren't, and we can also start to filter down by regions, which will then, again, drop down. And I've started using these L labels in order that we can have some consistency when we start to internationalize it. So this is level 1 is ward, level 2 is district, level 3 is region, and so on. And we can clear the filters. And then if we look inside the pages, so that's quite a good one. So this one, I've pulled it into a multiple tab interface. This is obviously broken because we're cloning from production. But now everything's a little bit more broken down, or the interface is a little more described. It's showing you your locations. So it's the same form as before. It's just, I think this is a lot less overwhelming to use. It's also showing what's linked up, and then it's giving you a little preview of what's there on the front end. And a lot of the admin settings I've moved into a box at the end. So for calendars, it's similar. I've got the errors are a bit clearer. It's still got the detection. A lot of this logic needs a review, but I think now the interface is easier to follow. And it's so on the other ones. So we've got users, sites. So on the sites, we can start to do a review to see where is not got any events showing up. So maybe we can start to do some culling, see what's not in use. The neighborhoods, I did quite an overhaul of this because I think this information is quite hard to browse. But you can now see every region and what's in it and what partners are there, and kind of drill down so we can see what areas are occupied and which aren't. I think some of this interface will be quite useful on the front end eventually. We'll do a version of it. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I put in, a lot of these little forms have been redone a bit, but I think the main attention I paid is to kind of the dashboard, the indexes, various like validators and filters and things to stop people, to like make sure things get filled in, and just generally overhauling this, removing a lot of old dependencies. This is all built with Tailwind. I've removed all the jQuery from it. We're on the way to removing all the Yarn dependency from it because we've now got this import map Rails gem. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and I hope this enters a new era of PlaceCal admin satisfaction.